Hello my fellow admins and welcome to another episode of Jira Guides. Void.admin here, and for this video I prepared you a guide on how to set up a Linux server with the help of VirtualBox. I'm starting a new session of tool guides that are useful for any Jira administrator, and you will see some kind of these guides in the future also. So let's start. So we start by creating a new virtual machine in order to set up our Linux server. So we'll click on this new, and this is the window that will be prompted with, but you need to click on the expert mode so you can do more advanced settings into this virtual machine. So we'll click on expert mode and this window will appear. So we need to give a name for this virtual machine. We have the path where this virtual machine will be stored, and also the type. So we'll choose Linux because we need a Linux machine, and also we choose the Ubuntu version of 64 bits. And here the memory size, it depends on what you have on your computer. I basically have 16 megabytes of 16,000 megabytes of RAM, and basically this is your RAM memory. So so this is basically what your tool will use when you open the tool, basically the virtual machine. So I will use for this, just to be safe, let's say 4,000. But if you have like 8 gigabytes of RAM, maybe you can use 2 for this virtual machine. I will use 4 for this video, and the hard disk, create a virtual hard disk now, and basically you click create. And for the next window we have the file size and file location. You can choose another location if you're if you don't like this location, but I will use the default one. And the file size I'll go for, so the default one is 10, but I'll go with 30 to be sure. And the hard disk file type will choose VMDK virtual machine disk, and here in the storage will live dynamically allocated, and we basically create the virtual machine. And now the virtual machine is created, and we need to do some settings on it before we started it. So you need to click on this virtual machine from the left side of the menu, right click it and click settings. And in the settings panel you have multiple options, but we'll need to go in the systems, and here you can see the base memory that we chose previously, but we need to go in the processor tab, and here basically we need to add the number of CPUs. So usually on the server you have multiple CPUs, and if your PC processor has multiple CPUs, you can also choose to multiply this number. So I will choose I have 12 CPUs, so I will use 4. And in the so now we are done with this processor thing, and we need to go in the network. So basically for this you need a bridge adapter if you want to access your local network. So I usually use bridge adapter because this is like my use case, and I'm understanding that maybe some people that are watching this guide want to set up Jira in their home PC. Like basically if you are doing this type of stuff at a company, you will not use bridge adapter. You need to use NAT, or you have like an IT person that is taking care of these network things. But for this use case we use bridge adapter, so we can access that Linux machine from our Windows environment. So this is the name of the adapter that I use for my internet, and we need to click here on in advanced. And here I will choose allow all. So usually I cannot access this Linux server machine if I'm not allowing all here. So now I need to click OK, and now we need to start our virtual machine. So we click on this start, and it will be prompted with a new window where the virtual machine will start. So now we have a small window here inside the virtual machine where we need to add the Ubuntu Linux server. So here you see that I already have it, but you'll not have this already selected here, so you need to click on this small folder, and it will go in this window where you can attach the file that you downloaded for Ubuntu. So previously, before this step, you need to go to on the Ubuntu site, or you just Google it, Ubuntu server download, and you just download that .iso file, and from there you need to click on this add, and you add the disk image and you attach to this window. I have already attached this, so I will choose from this list. So I will choose it, and now we need to click on start. So basically now it will run the process of starting the virtual machine, and we have this mounted. So basically we are just I don't know if you remember, like in the old days when you were trying to install a Windows, you need to mount like a disk or an USB for your PC in order to read that in order to install your Windows. This is the same with Linux. So now we mounted like an ISO for Linux, and now we will basically now you need to move only with the keyboard keys and just stop using the mouse, because mouse is not integrated in Linux. So what you need to do is to just basically try to go with, I'm trying to maximize this so you can see it better, but it says that. So now in this step we need to choose the language. So try to use only keyboard, and try to, as you can see, like my mouse is not visible in the Linux machine, so it's only visible in Windows. So you need to use your keyboard here. So you click enter here on English, and you have the English layout. You need to you have this green check that it's done, so you click enter from the keyboard, and now you have the choose type of installation. It's Ubuntu server. You just click on done, is by default. And now in this step I will advise you just to so in this small section below the VM you have these two computer screens. So basically this is an adapter. So I use the bridge adapter. So you need to right click on it, and you just disconnect from the network, so it doesn't mess up with the updates for you. So now you continue without network. You just click OK. Here, if you don't use a proxy to connect the internet, you can leave it blank. So I'm not, so I will leave it blank. And the next step is I just use the mirror address that is for Ubuntu that is provided me by default. So I will just click done here again. And here I will use the entire disk. If you want, you can custom your storage layout for this configuration, but I will use the entire disk. And now you can see that you are on the first line, use an entire disk. So you need to use your arrows from the keyboard. So I'll use the down arrow to go to the done section here, and you just click enter. And now basically it will ask you like a confirmation that it will use that storage. So you just go with done here, and for this basically it's asking you, are you sure if you want to continue? Just go with the arrow from the keyboard and you just click continue. And now you have basically you need to add this information for your name, your server name. So just add void.admin. Let's put admin, and now server name, let's say void minus server minus jira, and let's pick a username. I will say just void, and I will type a password. I will not tell you my password, of course. And now we have a complete profile setup, and you just go with the arrow from the keyboard, the down arrow, and you just click done. And now you need to, like, I will go with an open SSH server package, and I will just go with enter from the keyboard, and now I will navigate to done as I need to open SSH. And now basically it will install the system, so we need to wait. So now the installation is complete. So now we can also view log if you want. If not, you can start and go further and just reboot your machine, and just enter this reboot now, and now the virtual machine will reboot. At some point you will see this failed unmounting CD-ROM, but what you need to do is just press enter from the keyboard, and the virtual machine will restart without any other complications. So now, as you can see, it will start the virtual machine again, and you need to wait here until it's finished. Okay, so at this point it doesn't find the network in order to start, so at this point we can reconnect the network. So I will just reconnect to the network, and we can just wait to restart the virtual machine. So as you can see, now it will restart because it has the internet connection. Great, and now basically Ubuntu Linux server was installed on our virtual machine, and you just need to click enter here after this message. And now basically we need to add our login credentials. So basically this is your name that you chose previously, and you just click enter, and now you need to type your password. Be aware that the password will not be shown in Linux as you type it, so it will remain basically in the same first character as you see is blinking, and you just click enter after you added your password. And now, as you can see, you could log in, and now voila, this is your Linux server on Ubuntu. So what we can do now is, after this step, is to check our IP address. So I will just blur my IP address for obvious reasons. So the command for this is IP space, and not backspace, so it's IP space, and after that it's ADDR. So basically IP address, and you just click enter. And now at this point you'll see your IP address in the so you see there that it's the line where we added this IP address command, and after that you have like a part with one dot, and you just have this loop back up, lower up, and where you can find here your IP address. As you can see on the Linux machine, it's before the metric, so it's inet, and then it starts the IP address. In the video I will just point an arrow to this IP address, so you can actually identify it from this, as I cannot show it with my mouse. So now in this case, after we saw our IP address, we can go in the command prompt, cmd, you can just type it here. In this window you can just use ping and the afferent node this, and actually your IP address, which I will just type it now from the other one, because you need to check the ping that it's working. So now I see I need to have these replies. So ping statistics, sent and received, and actually it's communicating with this IP, so this is good. So you can also like this is like a later step now, we can set up the virtualbox guest edition installation. So what we need to do now is to update. So we'll just type the command sudo space apt minus get, and after that space and update. So basically this is command sudo apt minus get update, and we just click, and we need to put our password, and now it will basically update the terminal. So now we are done. So one more thing that we need to do is to install the VirtualBox guest, and we'll do this by sudo apt minus get space install, and now we type virtualbox minus guest minus dkms and space minus y. So basically this is the command. You can see it here. I hope I got it correctly. Yes, I got it correctly. So now I just hit enter and it will reading the package list, and basically this is done. So now our last step is to access this Linux server machine from our Windows. So I will just minimize this and this one. So now I minimize basically everything related to our virtual machine. I will just open my mobile extern. So I'm using this tool in order to communicate with the Linux server. So this is a tool from my Windows. So this is not a Linux machine. So this is my Windows. So now what you need to do, I don't know what other tools you can use, but you need to add a SSH session. So I'm adding here a session of type SSH, and here we need to you need to add basically the how it's called, the IP of your bridge network, and also you need to specify the username and the port. Usually the port is by default 22, and also this is working for me. And here I need to actually check my my IP, so I'm not writing other IPs here. So I'll just put it here. Maybe I can see it better. So I will just write my IP here. So this is what you need to do in order to remotely, it's not like remotely between operating system, because now I'm trying to access a Linux server from Windows using this tool. So you need to specify your username that you choose, that you are login in your Linux server. So mine is void, and the port you just leave it like 22. And now you just click OK. And now, as you can see, it opens my my terminal here, and now basically I'm accessing this VM from the VirtualBox by using it remotely from another operating system, because I joined with a SSH port based on the IP. So now I will just type my password here, and I'll just click enter. You want to save your password? I'll just say yes. And basically now you are connected to the Linux machine that you are here. So just for you to understand that this is actually our Linux machine, as you can see, I'm logging as void on a void -server -jira. And here, if I'm trying to search the content to see that this is the same, so we can type ls space -la. So basically we can see the content of this virtual machine. So if I'm type enter here, you can see that let's say like the last line, it was changed on 12 September 62. Okay, so now I'm doing the same, ls -la, and I'm just clicking, and as you can see, this is the same Linux server, and I'm accessing remotely for another operating system, which is Windows. So basically this was my video for today, how you can set up this Linux server, basically as a Ubuntu server on a virtual machine, so you can also access it from Windows, because like whoever likes this UI, like this UI in Windows is much more user friendly. Like you can scroll with using your mouse, and you can see basically everything, and it's much easier to work on this Linux terminal rather than the terminal from the Ubuntu from the virtual machine. So yeah, that was it for today. And yeah, if you have any questions regarding this video or any other video from my channel, you can post it in the comments down below, or you can also join my Discord. I have a Discord with a small community, of course, but you can also join it. And besides this, you can also find my Git repository with Jira scripts, basically are Groovy scripts or Python scripts that are used for Jira, and you can also access that. And I shall see you in the next video. That's it for today. Peace.